I want you to do something a little uncomfortable right now.
Yeah.
Pick up your phone, open your banking app, and just look at the number on the screen.
That balance you think is yours.
Right, that's safety net. The number you check before you buy groceries or, book a flight. Now I need you to understand a statement that is going to sound completely insane until we actually look at the legal fine print.
Which we will.
That money does not exist.
Yeah.
It is a digital illusion. What you are looking at is not an asset. It is an unsecured loan that you have made to an institution that has, frankly, already gambled it away.
It's a terrifying realization when it finally sinks in. I mean, we go to work, we spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week away from our families.
Yeah.
We miss soccer games, we miss milestones, we come home absolutely exhausted, and we do all of that just to accumulate those numbers. We think we're storing up safety for our kids or, care for our aging parents.
But you aren't.
No. When you peel back the layers of this banking system, you realize what's actually happening is a systematic theft of your life's labor. It's this invisible enemy that is just quietly erasing the value of every single hour you've ever worked.
And look, we aren't saying this to be dramatic. We aren't conspiracy theorists here. We evaluate reality through the lens of cold, hard data and precise legal definitions.
Exactly.
Today, our mission for this deep dive is rooted in the work of Murray Rothbard, specifically his 1963 masterpiece, What Has Government Done to Our Money?
Such a crucial text.
It is, because out of all the 41 guardians of economic thought we study, Rothbard holds a totally unique stature. You look at Newton or Adam Smith or Keynes, they were obsessed with efficiency. How do we make the machine run faster?
Right.
Rothbard didn't care about the machine's speed. He was looking for justice.
That is the defining difference. He didn't see economics as just, charts and graphs to optimize GDP. He viewed it as a moral landscape.
Yeah.
When he looked at modern banking, he didn't see a helpful service industry. He saw an active crime scene. He is the one who defined the entire structure of fractional reserve banking as a criminal act of embezzlement.
Institutionalized counterfeiting.
Exactly. Institutionalized counterfeiting.
He had the guts to call it exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So, we're going to expose what is objectively the greatest scam of our time. And we're going to explain why your financial survival depends on understanding the legal difference between a debt and a warehouse receipt.
Because the system is entirely designed to confuse those two things. And that confusion is quite literally costing you everything.
Let's start at the foundation. Before we talk about the theft, we have to define the property. Rothbard builds everything on the concept of self-ownership.
Which is such a beautiful, deeply human concept. It just means you own your body.
Right.
No state, no bank, no one else has a claim to it. And therefore, logically, you own the labor that your body produces.
It's the old homesteading principle. You walk into the woods, you chop down a tree, you build a chair. That chair is yours because you mixed your sweat, your time, your physical energy with that raw material.
It becomes an extension of you.
Exactly. So what is money then? Money is simply crystallized, accumulated labor.
Right. It's a battery.
A storage device.
Yeah.
At work today, you expend your life force, but you don't need to eat 10,000 apples today. So you store that energy in money, intending to release it 5 years from now to feed your family.
And this is why inflation is so insidious. When the state or a central bank debases the currency, when they print money out of thin air, they aren't just adjusting economic weather.
No, they are draining your battery.
They are retroactively negating your past labor. They are stealing your future survival. It's just devastating for the middle class.
It's theft, pure mathematical theft. And people just accept it like it's the weather. Oh, prices are up today. No, prices aren't up. Your labor was stolen. But how do they do it legally? This is where we get into the legal trickery. The distinction between bailment and debt.
This is the aha moment for almost everyone. It totally redefines how you view your bank.
Let's use the parking lot analogy. It exposes the fraud perfectly. If I drive my car into a parking garage, that is a bailment contract. I am paying the garage keeper to hold my property.
And he gives you a ticket, a warehouse receipt.
Right. Now, can that garage keeper rent my car out as an Uber while I'm at work?
Of course not.
Can he sell the engine to pay off his own credit card debt?
No, he'd go to prison for embezzlement.
Exactly. Because I retain ownership. He merely has custody. That is how a bank deposit fundamentally should work.
You put your asset in a vault, they give you a receipt, and it sits there safely until you need it. A true warehouse for your labor.
But legally, a bank deposit is absolutely not a bailment. It is a debt contract.
And this is the sleight of hand that ruins everything. When you deposit your paycheck, say $1,000, You are legally surrendering ownership of that money to the bank.
You are no longer the owner.
You become an unsecured creditor. And in exchange, they just give you an IOU, a promise to pay you back if they happen to have the liquidity when you ask for it.
And because it's legally their money now, they gamble with it. If a grain warehouse owner sold your wheat without telling you, he's in handcuffs. But because of this distorted debt contract, banks do this legally every single day.
Rothbard called this blurring of lines organized fraud. It protects bankers while they extract value from the working class.
Which brings us to the actual mechanics of the counterfeiting factory, the alchemy of fraud, fractional reserve banking.
It sounds so complicated when economists talk about it, but the reality is disturbingly simple.
Let's run the math. Say a bank has a 10% reserve requirement. You walk in, you deposit $10 million. The bank keeps $1 million in the vault, maybe, and they lend out the other $9 million to a commercial developer.
Now, pause right there. You check your app. You still think you have $10 million.
The app says $10 million.
Right. But the developer now has $9 million in his account.
10 million plus 9 million. $19 million is now circulating in the economy, but only 10 million actually existed a second ago.
That extra 9 million was just created out of thin air. It wasn't mined. It wasn't produced by human labor. It was typed into a ledger by a banker.
It's a phantom money. And here's the brutal part. That phantom money enters the market and competes for the exact same goods, the same houses, the same groceries as your hard-earned money.
It dilutes the pool.
It siphons purchasing power directly away from the producer and hands it to the bank.
This is why families feel like they're running on a treadmill that just keeps speeding up. You're working harder, you're getting raises, but you can't afford the house your parents bought in a single income. The banker is extracting your value without contributing any real value to society.
It causes structural, inescapable inflation. But let's hit the bridge point right now. I want you to visualize the empty vault. We talked about your banking app at the beginning. Look at that number again.
It's a total fabrication.
It is a poker chip in a legalized gambling hall. The bank has already sent your labor to a 30-year mortgage in Arizona, or to keep some zombie corporation afloat.
Yeah.
If every depositor went to the bank tomorrow morning, just one morning, the doors would lock.
Immediately.
The money is gone.
Modern banking is, by definition, a Ponzi scheme. It relies entirely on the victim's trust. It relies on you not asking for your property back all at once.
And the only reason it doesn't collapse into dust every single afternoon is because the central bank, the Federal Reserve, exists solely to bail out this crime scene using your own tax money.
Which is just a tragic history of plunder. This wasn't an accident. It was a coordinated, slow-motion heist.
Let's track the timeline. Rothbard laid out this age of predation perfectly. It starts in 1913.
The founding of the Federal Reserve.
The Thieves' Alliance.
That's really what it was. Before 1913, if a bank issued too many fake warehouse receipts, the market punished them. There were bank runs, and reckless bankers went bankrupt.
As they should.
Right. But the financial elites didn't like facing consequences, so they created the Federal Reserve, selling it to the public as a stabilizing force. But really, it was a cartel agreement. A formal counterfeiting window to ensure that when they gambled and lost, the system would socialize the losses through inflation.
They transferred power from the individual right to the elite. Then comes the next heist, 1944, Bretton Woods.
Ah, the fake gold standard.
The U.S. government told the world, hey, trust us. The dollar is backed by gold. It's as good as the real thing.
But behind the scenes, they were just printing paper to buy the world's real goods. European cars, electronics, raw materials.
Writing bad checks on a global scale until the world finally called their bluff.
Which led to the fatal blow, 1971.
Nixon shock.
The largest single violation of property rights in human history.
Absolutely. Nixon goes on television and severs the dollar from gold entirely.
In that one moment, money fundamentally changed. It went from being an asset, something real and scarce, to a command, fiat, literally meaning let it be done by government decree.
And the data since that day is nauseating. You look at the numbers.
It just breaks my heart to even say this data point out loud.
Say it. People need to hear the math.
A $100 bill saved in 1913 is worth roughly 32 cents today.
32 cents.
That means that the system has confiscated 99.7% of a citizen's life labor. Think about what that actually means for a family. If your great-grandfather worked 100 hours to save that money, the system stole 99 hours and 42 minutes of his actual life.
Without ever using physical violence.
Just an invisible extraction of wealth. It's the literal death of the American dream.
This is the red pepper reality. The system is designed to plunder you. But we are not here just to analyze the crime scene. We are here to talk about the exit strategy. Rothbard demanded a solution. He outlined the moral requirements for a money fortress.
He wanted a return to 100% real money, an asset that couldn't be printed, couldn't be manipulated, and didn't rely on trust.
At the time, he thought it was gold.
Because that's all they had. But gold has massive physical vulnerabilities. It's heavy, it's expensive to verify, and because it's hard to move, it inevitably ends up centralized in bank vaults, where the government can just seize it like they did in 1933.
Right. But technology has finally caught up to Rothbard's moral requirements, which brings us to Bitcoin. And I want to be crystal clear here. We are not talking about crypto speculation.
Yeah, not at all.
We are talking about Bitcoin as the mathematical realization of Rothbardian tech. It is the fortress. Let's look at the features. Feature 1, the mathematical wall, 21 million.
This is the ultimate defense against the inflation tax. Unlike the Fed, which just prints trillions at will to fund whatever they want.
Bitcoin has a hard, mathematically enforced cap, 21 million coins, ever. That is a non-arbitrary supply. It cannot be altered by a politician throwing a tantrum or a banker needing a bailout. It permanently stops the dilution of your labor.
And then there's the property rights aspect. Feature 2, private keys.
This goes right back to the Bailment versus debt problem.
Exactly. With a bank, you surrender ownership. But if you rolled your own Bitcoin private keys, you achieve absolute self-ownership. It is the technical implementation of absolute property rights.
If you hold the key, you have the exclusive right to dispose of that asset without interference.
No one can freeze your account. No one can seize your wealth. It doesn't matter what jurisdiction you are in or who the president is. You truly own your labor again.
Feature 3 is how it destroys the banking fraud entirely. The transparent warehouse. We talked about how banks operate on a black ledger. You can't see what they're doing with your money.
But Bitcoin operates on the UTXO model, unspent transaction outputs.
Right.
It functions as a transparent global warehouse. I don't have to trust an auditor or a corrupt rating agency to tell me the system is solvent. I can verify the entire supply of Bitcoin on my own computer in real time.
Proof of reserve. It is a 100% reserve banking system that requires zero human trust to operate.
It's beautiful. It perfectly solves the embezzlement problem Rothbard identified.
And finally, it provides moral armor. Proof of work.
This is so vital for respecting the worker. Fiat money is printed for free by elites who don't sweat. But Bitcoin requires actual energy.
Physics.
Yes, thermodynamics. You have to sacrifice real-world computational power to mine it. It is digital homesteading. You are mixing literal energy with the protocol to create property. It respects the producer.
So we arrive at the strategic conclusion. The choice facing you right now.
It is a profound choice.
You are standing inside the crumbling walls of a system that was explicitly designed to steal 99.7% of your labor.
A system that punishes you for saving.
And on the other side, you have a mathematical fortress.
The transition is happening.
So here's the final verdict. Trust is for the victims of a scam. Freedom is for those who use math.
That is exactly right.
In a world of legalized institutional fraud, holding 0% Bitcoin is the ultimate surrender of your life's labor. Your money is being stolen right now as you listen to this, but the wall is already built.
The exit is right there. You just have to choose to protect your family.
The choice is yours. We'll see you inside the fortress.